Hello, everyone. How everybody doing tonight, this evening? Great, I'm assuming. We're gonna start with our roll call. Let's get started here. 1 second. All right, just Pam. Let's unmute for a second.
Okay.
Let's unmute everyone for a second so they can answer
Okay.
roll call. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Since there's no repeat in first names, I'm just gonna stay with the first names. Okay, ladies. We have Renee. And can someone on our product set team just check the chat box just in case they decided to type in the chat box? Okay, we have Renee, Sherry, Pamela,
Here.
Amanda,
Here.
Alyssa,
Here.
Kim,
Here.
Jody. Okay, thank you. Jody. All right.
Jody's here. She's having some issues with her microphone.
Gotcha. Thank you. We have Julie next. Julie.
Please.
Shelby. Kim.
Shelby's here.
Yeah, Shelby is here. I saw her earlier. Then we have Kim.
Here.
I'm sorry. There are two Amandas. I'm sorry. Amanda Stone.
Which Kim?
We only have one Kim that's on this list. Oh, I'm sorry. There's two Kims. It's Kim Cleesaddle and then Kim Coney.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. I missed all that.
This is
So let's go back to Amanda Stone. Sarah.
I'm here.
Guard. Tina.
Here.
Heather.
Here.
Stacy.
Here.
Okay. So just to be on the safe, just to double check, is Amanda Burgess here?
Yes.
Then Amanda Stone. Ladies, help me out if you see their names or see their pictures. All right. Then we have Kim Coney.
here.
And then Kim Cleesaddle.
Here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Again, we'll go over the call roll again at the end of the call, just in case we have some that pop on at a later time. All right. We're going to jump right on in to finish up incentives from our last call. There are some polls that we want to throw out there at you guys just to get your views on. Our first poll, Pamela, is about is about beginning to sell in December or January. And if Pam, if you can just help them with that.
I've just launched the poll. So there are 3 questions. The first is, when should the cookie program begin for pre-orders? Should we do it like we did this time, where we open it up to begin pre-orders in December? Or should we go back to starting everything in January? The next question is, would you like to see a week of camp being added as an incentive at some certain level, which is yet to be determined? And the third question is, should the trips continue to be offered as they are now as a box level incentive, or should we consider changing that offer, changing that incentive to a top selling, where just the top 25 girls go to the trip?
Okay. I'll give you guys a minute or two to choose your answers. And also, just to inform you, we're thinking about not offering the 1200 Cookie Club this year. We didn't have many that chose Quest Fest this year. For next year, we didn't have that many that chose Quest Fest this year. And also, one of our reasoning in one of your opinion about the trips continuing at a box level or just doing offering it to the top 25 selling girls, because we're just going to be open and frank with you guys that the budget is just too much for the budget. It just exceeds our budget, the cost of the trips. Okay. All right, Pam. I think all that's on this call have already.
Okay, yeah, we've got 11
Okay.
out of, okay.
All right.
And
Okay.
how do I get back to?
Okay. Is there any discussion in reference to any of the questions that we just asked? Anybody have a comment or a suggestion? Okay, well, we will move on. Our first question or discussion will begin with cookie booth etiquette and procedure. Did any of you have opportunity to check any other areas and would like to speak on it? And let us know your findings. And we can discuss this question as a whole, both question number 1 and question number 2. How do you feel about having consequences for breaking the rules? Yes, Jody. I will post my files. I have several. Okay, great. Gotcha. No mic. I remember. Anyone else want to speak on this?
We should definitely, this is Sarah, we should definitely have consequences for not following the rules.
But what are some consequences you think we should put in place?
I'm not exactly sure, but I just know from some things that happened last year, something should definitely be done. But I'm not.
So maybe along the lines of first offense, second offense, third offense?
Yes.
Anybody want to elaborate on that or give your opinion?
Well, I think there need to be some consequences. But I also think we have to be careful with consequences, because I know there was a situation where there was, I think, maybe a parent breaking the rule that was separate from the troop. So would we penalize the troop, or how would we handle a situation like that? I mean, I haven't had any problems. All of my parents have gone by the book, gone by the rule. But I've heard where there were, for instance, in a shopping center or a parking lot, and they had cookies in a buggy, rolling the buggy throughout the parking lot, and that's not part of our etiquette. Do we penalize the troop, or do we penalize that parent?
That's it. That's why we're asking. We want you to tell us what do you feel is best. How should we, if there's going to be some consequences in place, how do you want us to handle it as council, from the council level?
It's Sarah. It's Sarah again. I think that the consequences should be on the troop level, because if the troop leader went over everything with the parents, then the parents should know the do's and don'ts. So I think it should definitely be on the troop level that the consequences occur. If they're going off and having so-called illegal booths somewhere, set up on the corner of a intersection, set up at a booth, But now what the consequences should be, I'm not so sure.
But as a troop leader, I don't necessarily have control over what that parent follows and what they don't unless I catch them. And then I don't think the other girls should be penalized because that parent chose to not follow the rules.
And that's what I'm thinking, because if I'm this is hypothetical, if I'm at Walmart and I'm set up at Walmart, but I have a parent who ordered cookies and she's across the street at Kroger's, going through Kroger's parking lot, I don't feel like my troop should be penalized because she's doing something pretty much behind the leader's back.
Okay, so let's ask the question, how many, with that particular scenario, how many you think that we should leave the disciplinary on the, left upon the troop to handle?
As a troop leader, I'm not sure if the troop handle it, how well it would be taken by the parent. And I also feel like parents would think twice about what they're doing if they know council is going to go after them more so than the troop going after them.
I agree. If you can tell the parents what the consequences are for not following whatever the rules are, you would have more of a leg to stand on if they thought there was going to be some bite.
And to me, that's kind of like with the forms that we did this year as far as the debt forms. We had less problems this year because of the debt form and the parents knowing the council would go behind them if they had a debt, could go after them if they had a debt. Whereas in the past, we didn't have this debt form and the parents did pretty much, had debt still out there or whatever. So I think when it comes from council, it carries more weight than when it comes from the troop.
I agree with that. This is Sarah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
This is Mary. I agree too.
Over here. Okay. Can someone read the from the statements or comments from the chat box, please?
Yeah.
Staff.
Let's see. We have, I've experienced that too. We do have, and I'll have to pause my sharing to get to the sites that Jody shared so we can share those booth forms.
Okay.
Jody said that she experienced that too, which I'm assuming that means the people walking around the parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Tate also saw that, someone selling inside a parking lot when it was their scheduled booth time. Offered the parent and girl to join us at the booth sale, having a hard time penalizing the troop for one person's poor conduct. I think that would alienate a number of people or persons. I also think that council should help intervene and handle this one-on-one. State the expectations right up front on booth etiquette. I found a few contracts. That is from Jody. Stacy said, I don't know how the council or troop service unit could prove that the rule was broken and penalize anyone. It's hard to handle this type of issue. Mandy Burgess agrees that the debt form made parents realize that the council was the one giving the rules. Maybe that will work for illegal sales. We can tell our parents things, but the council telling them has a bigger impact.
Okay.
And I think that's it so far.
Can you share Jody's?
Yeah, let me see if I can get over to those websites.
Okay.
She had 3.
I like the idea of putting all the rules and procedures on a document for the parents to sign. Then it's not just word of mouth from the, Cookie Mom or troop leader to the parents.
Okay. And definitely coming from council. That's what I'm hearing.
This is Christina. I was just thinking when I was listening to you guys, what if we put where on the permission form, we put whatever we decide on, and they actually, you know how at some places you have to initial here, and then sign at the bottom? We have our permission form, and whatever we come up with, they actually have to initial on that line for each and every, offense or rule or policy that we're going to put into place. So if they initial by that one and then break that one, well, you didn't read it or whatever, but you initialed beside it. Because I think, do we want another form? That would be 3. Or could we add this to our permission form and then make them initial by each and every rule? So each and every one should have been read.
Correct.
So they can't say no one told me, or I didn't see it, or it wasn't pointed out.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that idea that what Christina said, and if need be, can we make the form a front and back form? It's still one sheet of paper, but it would be front and back.
Yes, ma'am. I don't see what that'd be a problem at all, keeping it all in one form. In a WUFU link. All right. Anybody else?
Jody?
You got it? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. It looks as though the Girl Scouts Heart of Central California have taken their forms down. So if you had pulled them down or downloaded them, can you email them to me and I can share them at that way? Because the links that you sent me are saying they can't find the page that we're looking for.
She said she can.
Okay.
Okay, this is Tina Steen. You're saying that we get everybody to sign a form about booth sales? Because I don't have any parents. I do every single one of my booths. So I don't have parents that go out and do it on their own. And I don't believe that I have a great deal of parents doing it on their own in the counties that I'm responsible for. I did have issues this year with people going out early and selling and going out to places that we do not have permission to sell before the sale started. And again, there's no way that the troop leader would have known that. I only knew because someone called me, and it was not in my county. And the 2 that I did know about, by the time that I got to both locations, and they were on the same day, both people were gone. And I mean, I had to go from one part of the county to the other to get to both locations, and I had to do it after my troop meeting. So, I mean, getting everybody to sign another piece of paper doesn't make any sense to me. If there are people that are willing to sell at a booth, then they should be willing to sign the piece of paper when they go for training or some other way. But I don't think we need to get every single parent to sign a piece of paper about booth sales, because it's not going to pertain to 100% of parents.
Okay.
Susan, this actually can be included in the WUFU form. I know Stacy had asked. It's something that actually, I think what Christina said, the initials would be a really great idea to implement rather than agree, disagree.
Right.
And it could be, Tina, maybe that we don't state specifically booth, but we state something a little bit more general, as we have on there already that you won't start the sale earlier than the actual sale date. And we can add something, we'll follow something a little bit more generic versus it's exactly you will follow booth rules specifically. But we can have something that's a little bit more generic. I can't think of it right now, but I can think of just basic, some more basic, rather than it being very long and lengthy.
Okay. Priscilla, can you click on the chats and read some comments? I've seen some come up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Stacy said, would this be available as WUFU form? That has been making paperwork easier. I'm glad. And that, like I said, it can be. Mandy said, I think all parents should sign so you don't single people out. That's a good statement. It's something we'll look into. And then Jody said she was pointing this to you, Pam, that she had sent several. She found some great formats for contracts.
I've received them, and I'm sharing a few of them now.
Priscilla, if you could finish the chats right quick before Pam starts with that.
Yes. Found some great formats for contracts and rules. I know we do not have time for everything. Please choose what you think would be most helpful.
Okay. Hey, Pam, if you can just hit some of the highlights there, and what we can do, send them out in our meeting notes so you guys can take a look at it a little bit closer, and then let us know how you feel via email. Then on our last meeting in July, we'll have a wrap-up session. Okay? Go ahead, Pam. I'm sorry.
Okay. This one is from Southeastern New England, and it has the cookie booth rules, etiquettes, and tips. So it's asking everyone to review them. The basics, which I think we generally go over in our book as well. How it's conducted by troops and groups. Individual girls and families don't conduct booth sales. The girls always should behave in a manner appropriate in a public place. And adults need to also be responsible. If there are two troops at the same time, work it out as sisters, and not to involve store management. And certainly don't get into any knockdown dragouts or yelling matches. I'm sure is in that. Under the security, never leaving girls alone, having two registered adults present and engaged, watching over the money, what to do as far as if someone tries to steal the money or does steal the money box. And then the standards, which are that there must be two registered adults and present at all times, minimum of two girls at any time. They need to be identifiable as Girl Scouts wearing membership pins, Universe, or Girl Scout clothing. Understanding managers' behaviors, and they do have where location managers have the right to ask anyone to leave, and if troops are to leave, troops should leave without comment if asked to do so, and then report to the product sales coordinator, the product sales managers, or service unit product salespeople. When you're the first one to introduce yourself to management, arrive no more than 10 minutes before your shift, allowing the troop before you to clean up before you get started. Girls always using the buddy system for bathroom breaks. Eating discreetly. Let me see if I can find some others that we have on here. Here's a cookie booth contract, and it's based on the Girl Scout. It looks like it's based on the Girl Scout law. On my honor, I, and they fill in the blank, will follow the rules listed. Be polite and friendly. My behavior reflects the Girl Scouts. Obey the booth sale starting time, identify myself as a Girl Scout, don't block entrances, keep everything neat, say thank you to everyone who approaches, remove empty boxes and recycle if possible. I will not get in the way of customers, ask the customers twice, go into the store while working at a cookie booth, talk loudly, run around, play while selling, eat, drink, chew gum, and then the Girl Scout signs and the parent signs. And then there's some, looks very similar to the other as far as best practices. Be sure all adults supervising have read, understand, and agree by procedures and etiquette. Booths are conducted by troops. Individual girls and families don't conduct them. Again, print a copy of your current sign-ups conversation and take it with you. If two troops, work it out as sisters, not involving store management, behaving appropriately, not leaving girls alone or unsupervised, always need to have an adult present and engaged, being mindful of the money box.
Excuse me, Pam.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see any of that list any consequences?
I'm looking through and I don't see any consequences so far.
Because we still haven't. Yeah. We definitely need to kind of focus on consequences, because we want to all definitely be in agreement with it. I really did not find that paperwork for the rules and contracts. Okay, thank you, Jody. Are there any more comments in the chat?
Yes, from Alyssa.
Yes, can you read it, please?
Rather than punishing the troop as a whole when dealing with the parents' actions, maybe fining the parent or invalidating the girl's cookie bucks for poor conduct. Could that work? I do think a contract with the rules listed would be good too.
And what did she say about the girl's cookie dough? Because this is coming from a girl, so what did she say about cookie dough?
I'm assuming she means like basically, so if a girl earned $25 worth of cookie dough, we would take, just throwing it out there, like $5 off. So she would receive $20 in cookie dough.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do anyone else? There's another comment in the chat box.
Yeah, Kim says the girls shouldn't be punished for something the parent did. Maybe making the parent themselves be punished by something.
Okay.
I have a question. That comment was the $5 for an infraction from the girl or the infraction from the parent with the cookie dough?
Looks like the infraction actually came from probably the parent and girl list that was there performing, that was in the wrong.
Okay, because my thing is that, if it was an actual girl, I could maybe see doing that, but I don't think the girl should be punished for something the parent did.
Okay.
My thing is, a lot of the infractions that we're going to find are not going to be at our extra cookie booths, I don't believe. It's going to be like, my cookie booth is set up, but here's a parent from another troop or another side of town or whatever that just happens to have cookies in their car, and they're walking through a parking lot or they're walking through a shopping center or whatever, selling their cookies, not caring about the fact that there's a booth already set up in that location.
Mm-hmm. So just throwing it out, do y'all suggest that we maybe council basically just, let me see, how can I say it? Do y'all suggest that council should just basically just kind of just spend much more time in training the troop product sales manager, so they can go and train the parents on the do's and don'ts for a good cookie booth. And this is, I mean, maybe not have consequences this year, but that if we continue to not respect our fellow Girl Scouts, that we may have to do consequences next year. Do y'all think that may work? Okay.
Susan,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is Christina.
Go ahead.
I will say we do have a problem with troops and their behavior at booths. We have a problem with girls running around, girls running in the store, sitting down and eating. Almost everything that Pamela read, I have had 3, 4, 5 calls for each item every single year. So yes, we have an issue with parents behaving badly and that thing, but we do have an issue with troops. Now, is it their cookie mom? Is it someone filling in? I'm not sure. But I am getting calls and pictures and videos sent to me.
Yeah, so am I.
So I want you ladies that are on this call probably are maybe not at all the troops that are having these problems, but they are out there, and I do believe they are hurting our service area. They are causing different businesses to maybe not want to come back next year as a cookie booth. So in that aspect, they're hurting your service area. We need to come up with some type of plan, and it's not just me calling and saying, hey, you had your girls running around, please don't do that anymore, because from my experience, it's not that's not keeping them from continuing to do this. And these are high selling troops and low selling troops in the middle of town, in the suburbs.
Okay, my thing with that is if you are getting reports, anybody's getting report of a troop, and you actually have that troop number, let's say it's troop 3 something 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 something, can they be punished as to say, well, maybe this is the very first cookie booth of the year, they won't be allowed to participate in cookie booths this year? They can maybe come back next year, but for the rest of this cookie season, they won't be allowed at the cookie booths.
So what I hear you saying is just maybe having like a first offense, second offense, third offense, and maybe one of the offenses be maybe taking away one cookie booth. Kim, you have your hand raised.
Maybe a first offense and a second offense, but the third offense, that should be, okay, you've not followed the rules this time on this date, this date, this date. So for the rest of this cookie season, or even maybe the next year, the next cookie season, you won't be allowed to do the cookie booth portion of selling cookies. They could do individual cookies, pre-sale, but they won't be able to do cookie booths as a troop.
Okay. All right. Kim, was that Kim? I'm sorry. I can't see anything. Someone have their hand raised?
It's Shelby.
Okay, Shelby, I'm sorry. Please, go ahead.
I was in one of the counselor's phones. I'm at camp right now.
Okay.
For punishment, I really think that instead of like punishing the girl or punishing the troop for anything, instead of letting the parents hold on to the cookies, maybe making sure that the parents don't have the cookies until it's like time to have a booth. So every time they have a booth, it's like, here's your cookies. This is for that booth, and you can get some whenever your next booth is. If it happens. So we don't have any of incidents where it happens. Or That's what we do in our area.
Okay, can we, thank you, Shelby. Can we read the chats, please?
Yes. We had, rather than punishing the troop as a whole, dealing with parents' actions, maybe fining the parent or invalidating, sorry, we did that one. Jody didn't find a whole lot of consequences in their paperwork for the rules and contracts. Shelby said that girls shouldn't be punished, which she just told us. Kim said invalidating the girls' cookie bucks is a great idea, or even the 55 cents a box is a possibility, maybe taking the proceeds from the troop, maybe for those booths. Stacy said that most issues come from parents, not the girls. Mandy agrees that the girls shouldn't be punished, but she doesn't know how we could punish the parents since parents don't get the rewards for the sales. Jody found on the New Jersey Council contract, and I'll read this, this is quoted from them. Please remember, booth sales give girls the opportunity to learn new skills, to promote Girl Scouting, live the Girl Scout promise and law, and to sell more cookies. With this opportunity comes the responsibility to follow safety, public relations, and business guidelines. Please keep in mind that selling Girl Scout cookies at booth sales is a privilege granted to us by local businesses. This privilege, if abused even unintentionally, could cause all Girl Scouts to lose the opportunity for additional sales at these places of business. Please be considerate of the businesses, customers, and property. If complaints arrive, you may be asked to leave. Stacy had said, yes, that's the best course, and I think she was talking about some of the consequences that we were discussing. Jody recanvassed all of her bookmarks, and that was the only piece she had saved from any of the forms that had any kind of consequences on there. Kim, which I think is Shelby, said if parent holds on to cookies, she should only get enough for just the booth they're having, which is what she had said in when she was talking to us. Sherry Tate thought that this is all a good start, but she's not sure how we could handle punishing the parents. Family Matt Alyssa says the majority of the time the girl is complimenting with the parent choices. So if we punish the girls, the parent will be less likely to misbehave, or the girl will force the parent to behave on their part. And this could keep the girls in check as well. Because the parents want the girls to get those rewards, and if we take those rewards away from the girls for parent behavior, the parents are less likely to misbehave, is the way I understand that. Stacy agrees that there does need to be greater focus on the issues from the troops. Carrie, one of our product sales, says, what about rewarding good behavior? Jody says, is it possible to do an etiquette campaign? As in a few of us who make a special trip to troop meetings to talk about cookie booth etiquette at regular troop meetings, maybe doing this as an additional video link in our eBuddy training and the girls' access point in eBuddy. In my experience, the girls always respond well when they receive information from a visitor or through social media. Alyssa agreed with us.
Okay.
Mandy says so many parents order extra cookies. She doesn't know what is extra or what is actually sold when parents pick up cookies. So it's hard to determine how many about holding them on just for the amount for cookie booths. Kim, which I think is Shelby, said you can make them give an amount of cookies they need, including letting the troop leader know the pre-sales, but only if it gets to where parents do something wrong. And that's all that we have in the chat so far.
All right, looks like there are two participants. They have their hands raised. I can't tell you who they are.
Kim and Sarah.
and
Okay, Kim.
Sarah,
Thank you.
which I think is Shelby, possibly.
Okay, Shelby. Okay, thank you, Shelby. No problem. Sarah?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Okay, all right. So I'm going off of the troop level consequences. If it is a recurring from the same troop, that each time you get a report of something in the first offense, second offense, third offense, and it's all from the same troop, that's where it's not necessarily, in my opinion, based off of the parent didn't know. That's where I feel like the troop leader hasn't discussed it, or the troop leader is just not following the rules. That's my whole thing, where the consequences for that troop leader, something should be done for sure. When it comes to just a parent, you hear they set up a booth somewhere and you don't have recurring from the same troop. Most of the time, from what I've experienced, they've been fine with it. So I don't know that. I guess what I'm saying is I like the first offense, second offense, and third offense idea for the troops. Did y'all get that? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else have a comment? So let's go back to good behavior, and maybe do a booth etiquette campaign, explaining what's going on, what's gonna happen, and let them know that we were gonna reward good behavior, maybe with a patch or something. Maybe possibly, I don't know, having the service area take a poll, or not take a poll, but just take a record of what's going on at the booths, sending in photos of the booth with good behavior, and maybe rewarding with a patch. Do y'all think that would keep some of the bad behavior down? Okay. Thank you, Jody. Any more comments in reference to that, or maybe can build off of that? All right.
Stacy says everyone loves patches.
This is
Yes, Tina.
I have a large service area, and to go out to different service areas and different parts of the service area and try to see who is doing, the good behavior, which they should be doing anyway. So we're rewarding them for something they should be doing anyway. It's kind of impossible. I have troops that have a booth every single day because they're trying to reach that 1,800 mark. So, and then they have more than one person doing a booth at the same time. So, I don't know. In smaller areas, it might work, but it would not work in my area.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Kim. Coney.
My thing is, since we're being almost like a product team,
Yes, ma'am.
and maybe we can form a small group for each area that can help the product team manager and just do some drive-bys to see what's going on at these cookie booths. I know it would be a little hard and a little tedious because some of us, like we've already heard, the troop leaders, we ourselves run our cookie booths. We don't allow our parents to run our cookie booths. But You know, for me, if I had a cookie booth on a Saturday and not a Sunday, okay, Sunday I could help Christina. Just drive by to see what's going on. And if they don't know you're coming and you happen to walk up on them, that may also help deter some of the misbehavior.
Okay, good idea. Anybody else have a comment?
We have a few.
Someone read the comments, please.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get to where we were. Kim agreed with limiting the amount of cookies that parents receive if they're not following the rules. You can't punish the troop for a rogue parent, but you can punish the troop for a rogue troop. Jody said the patch is a nice reward for this type of exercise, rewarding good behavior, when we brought that up. Sherry said, who is contacting the troops now if they are reported? Does that come from the service area? If you get a report on a troop, is someone talking to them? That's where you could use the offenses. Stacy said everyone loves patches. Kim said, I agree, Jody. I believe that was everyone loves patches. Sherry said a patch is a very nice incentive for good behavior. Kim, which I think is Sherry, said, Shelby, said, how about cookie rallies with the theme of booth etiquette and a patch to go with it? Jody said, what about using Facebook or other social media types to give a shout out to good behavior? I like that idea, Jody. Family Mac says good behavior is expected. She would feel cheated for this is Alyssa. She would feel cheated for getting a patch for something she always does. Kim, which I think is Shelby, says we have a woman that goes from our Walmart to a whole other county every time there is a booth. Shelby, can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I can. Basically, see how to put this. We have a lady that is a troop leader, well, a co-troop leader, sort of, and she takes care of watching over each and every booth sale in our whole area. So she goes from here to there, each county, wherever there are booth sales in those 4 to 5 counties, she'll go to them and make sure they're doing something right.
Okay, so you already have a cookie booth police officer, sort of.
Yes.
Okay. Well, how do y'all feel about, instead of rewarding with patches, maybe award with an extra booth pick for the next year booth selection? No? Yes? Maybe an early booth? Okay, I agree. Okay.
Shelby agrees. Sherry says earlier pick. Stacy says that would incentivize her. Alyssa likes that. Then Shelby says if you have a troop that's not following rules, then yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do anyone have any final comments?
Jody says she hears Alyssa. Excuse me, I'm sorry. She hears you, Alyssa, and empathizes with the position. However, as a troop leader who has had contact with girls of different socioeconomic backgrounds, good behavior is not always something that girls routinely exercise because they do not know, understand, or have positive role models. In the younger girl sets, they often need routine reinforcement to exercise the muscle memory on good behavior. I know we are expected to understand and model good behavior. However, in urban settings, this is often something we have to teach. And Shelby does agree with that.
Okay. Okay. I think we're hearing crickets now. Okay, so yes, do anybody have any last comments? All right. Okay. Well, last thing oh yes, ma'am. Kim Coney. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Okay, I agree with what's been said, but I also think that we need to kind of find a way to reward the girls. I would enjoy having an extra pick for the booth, but I still think we need to find a way to kind of reward the girls for following the rules. We may want to say it's good behavior, but as it's been said before, the girls can probably get over to their parents a little bit better than we can about the need to follow the rules because they like incentives. They like doing activities. I know we have Camp Low here. Maybe we could do something similar to a cookie rally or something at Camp Low that's going to, kind of go over the rules and regulations with the girls. And I wouldn't necessarily say a patch or whatever, but maybe we need to do a round table with the older girls and then a separate round table with the younger girls and see how they feel about the booth etiquette.
Okay. I believe Jody want. Okay, thank you, Kim. Think Jody want to share.
Yeah, I'm downloading it now.
Okay, thank you.
Tina again. I looked at Region 6, and a lot of the websites have the same information on there about the 5 skills and how to download the app and order the cookies online. They didn't have anything about the cookie booth etiquette or consequences, or I did not find one council that had anything on it, and some even took off everything to do with their cookies because the cookie season was over.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tina.
Jody says she has more than 20 links when she starts digging about etiquette rallies and such, I guess. What we have here is from the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles. It's the 2018 Cookie Program Troop Cookie Chair Guide. And it goes through with their additional resources, their checklist. Looks very similar to ours. The gift of caring partners, the 5 skills, rewards, tips for a good season, checklist for the family meeting, rules and consequences. Here we go. Consequences. If girls and/or troops are not selling in accordance with the established rules and regulations, they can be penalized by having one or more of the following consequences enforced. Removal of the highest reward level earned, no future boothing, reduction in troop proceeds or opt out of proceeds, reduction in the boxes sold for girl and/or troop, forfeiture of girl and/or troop proceeds and rewards. And then common examples of rules and regulations not complied with are as follows. This is not an exhaustive list, only a few examples. If it's not listed as an approved selling technique in pages 26 through 32, ask your service unit product person for guidance. Taking orders or selling before the start date, selling cookies for an incorrect price, outside authorized areas, selling on a sidewalk or street corner, setting up a lemonade stand on someone else's property, conducting a walkabout in a commercial or business area, setting up in front of a school, boothing outside their borders, adult selling without Girl Scouts, selling at a booth not scheduled for your troop in eBuddy or without first submitting and receiving special request approval, girls selling or delivering cookies alone, boothing with the incorrect girl-adult ratio or inappropriate behavior at a booth location, failure to pay for cookies and submit money as stated outlined by council. In the event that a consequence needs to be applied, the decision on which consequence to impose will be decided by the service area the product sales manager and/or the director of product sales and retail. The weight of the consequences will be based on the rules broken, the impact to others, safety, and if one or multiple infractions were made.
Okay.
Words of caution, always assume good intent. If you see someone not following the rules, report the behavior, include the troop number, the date, time, and place, who was there and what was occurring. Do not take pictures of offenders. Refrain from acting like cookie police. Trust in the process. Troops and girls not following the rules will be addressed appropriately.
Okay. All right. Can someone read the comments? Because we have about 2 more minutes before 8 o'clock. We respect your time, so we want to be done by 8. Pam, make sure you keep all that.
Okay, yes.
Last of the chats.
Yeah, Jody has more than 20 links when she started digging. She researched all day on the job. Thank you, Jody. I don't know how your boss feels about that.
Okay.
Cookie booth etiquette is in the middle, and a large council, so they have to address every last thing. Shelby said the way they listed the consequences does not box you in, so I like the way it was written.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Shelby.
And Kim said, I said something above Jody. Shelby said something above Jody. Okay.
Okay.
The etiquette rally for the ones who follow the rules in certain areas where all girls can reach. I think
Okay.
Shelby also
All right.
I'm sorry. Shelby mentioned a rally.
Go ahead, Priscilla. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Shelby had mentioned a rally earlier in the chat box.
You're breaking up. I'm sorry. Repeat.
Shelby had mentioned an etiquette at the rally doing a
Okay.
and doing a patch.
Oh, she did. Yes, she did. I remember that. Okay, just it's 7:59. Did we get everyone that showed up? Do we need to do roll call again? Christina's gone. Okay, let's just do roll call real quick. Renee, Lesum, Sherry Tate.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Pamela Willard. Amanda's here. Alyssa's here. Kim is here. Jody. Julie Lord.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Shelby is here.
And I'm
Kim
sorry
is
for the
here.
confusion.
No problem. Kim is here. Please settle. Amanda Stone. I'm just going by memory. Sarah's here. Armgard. Tina. Did Heather Winder raise her hand?
I'm here.
And Stacy is here, correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies, and thank you, ladies, for everything. Your comments, we value it all. We do want to invite you all to our Product Sales Managers Rally that's going to be going on August 24th through the 26th. And because it's an all-adult affair, our two young people, we value your opinion and we love your amazing insight. We would like for you guys to do a video so we can play it there at the rally. Okay? These are our two young people, Alyssa and Shelby. We're going to have your product sale people that's in your area get with you in reference to that to talk a little bit more about, which route you want to go. Could you repeat? Yes. The Product Sales Managers Rally is going on August the 24th through the 26th. At CMJ, and we're inviting you all there. You will receive an invite on tomorrow. Well, either if not Friday, one day, the first part of next week, you will receive an invite from Carrie. If you're able to come, more information will come later. Again, our two young people, Alyssa and Shelby, you're welcome. We value your insight, your opinion. We're gonna want you guys to do in the video and play it during that time frame at the rally because it's an adult event. Okay. Next meeting is July 19th at 7 o'clock, and we're gonna wrap this up. So you'll be hearing from us mainly on that meeting with some, of course, comments from you guys. Yes, ma'am, Jody. What are we expecting? Girl, nothing. Nothing. You're going to hear from us from that meeting. So we're going to bring everything back to you so we can repeat about what we heard, what we got from our group. No research at all. No, I'm sorry. We're going to have something for you, though, Jody, for the rally.
Research if you want.
Okay, so thank you, guys. You'll be hearing from us with the notes, of course. And a recap from this meeting, and then a big recap on July the 19th. Most of us will be out of the office next week because we have the 1800 cookie trip to New York for older girls. So if you need anything, please get with Carrie Carson or either Christine Branham. They both will be in the office next week. Oh, thank you. All right, you're welcome. Ladies, y'all have a good night and have a good one. Thank you. Pam, grab all those comments from the chat, please.
I will.
All right, thank you. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.